Well, hey all. Welcome to the Downcast. Um, this is a lot harder than it used to be, so apologies to all. But hello, Dame here. Solo tonight. Things seem to be better whenever I roll solo. So go team. Um, First, I wanted to discuss kind of a little something before we kind of uh, dive into the stats, dive into standings, playoffs, and everything. I kind of wanted to just discuss trades. I want to discuss trades. I want to discuss trade etiquette, and then keepers after that. So trades in a whole are pretty cool. Trades, I will say, there was a big trade that just happened just within the last 20 minutes. Devin and my brother made a trade. Devin acquired Julio Jones for his efforts and gave up Keenan Allen and Kyler Murray. Good trade. Going all in, Devin, so I like it. Trades are cool. The trade deadline is the 15th. So basically, tomorrow is your last chance to make any trades. Going from there, if you want to make trades, if you have them, send them to me. I'll push them right through. Quick side note, I was planning for a few weeks on making the intro to be just a bemoan Billy and trying to trade with him, full like 10-minute rant, similar to him using the platform to push his agenda with the whole him, his dad, Devin nonsense. Who cares? I'm not going to do that though. I will just say, if you ever want to enter into trade negotiations with Billy, enter at your own risk. Doodle-a-doo. Moving on. So, guys, anyway, let's talk keepers. We discussed keepers, but there's been some chatter about it this week, and I honestly remember it, I think, but I could have it wrong. So I just want to discuss it now, and then if anybody has a different memory, please go over it with me. So we discussed keepers. Keepers starting this coming season is going to go off of drafted position as normal. Nobody that was kept this year is eligible, and we're going to go with whatever round you took them. You keep them in. Normal stuff. However, you can keep them for 2 additional years if you would like, going on the doubling their draft round. So let's say, also in waivers, a waiver is a 10th round pick. So it's no longer a last round pick. So let's just say you keep a guy off the waiver. You keep him for the 10th round this coming year. The following year, you can keep him for a 5th round pick. And the last year, you can keep him for a 2nd round pick, because we're going, it's 2.5, but we're always rounding up. So a little easier one, let's say you keep a 6th rounder. Keep him for a 6th rounder, a 3rd rounder, and a 1st rounder. Yes, you can keep your 1st round picks. It's just going to be a 1st round pick cost to keep him all 3 years. So correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. I know we all got kind of hammered. Well, not all of us, but I was definitely part of it. So if you know this to be wrong or incorrect, let's have a discussion about it. But that's my understanding of the keepers. So yeah, keep on keeping on. I don't really have much else to say on that. Yeah, sorry guys. I mean, it's a little late. I just wanted to make sure and made sure and get this out. I don't want to let it go. It's playoff time. You know, we're at a downcast every 10 weeks. So at the rate we're going, we'll probably have one to talk about the championship. Funny joke. Anyway, guys, so just don't really want to go over last week. We all know who won, who lost, but I do want to go over the standings and kind of where we're at. So currently, as of now, as of now, we have our 4 divisions. In the War division, Zach is leading the way at 9.5 and 4. Devin's second at 7.5 and 5, and the champ third at 5.5 and 7. Once again, those two just made a big trade. We'll see what happens. The famine division, Billy 11 and 3. Once again, has already locked this division up and a playoff spot by locking up his division. Bill 4 and 7, and Brad 4.5 and 6. In the death division, I am very proud to say I currently am in the lead at 9 and 4, followed by Chris 8.5 and 4, and our resident cheese shoes at 8 and 4. And then in the pestilence division, Bass 9 and 4, Beaver 7 and 6, and Lee 6.5 and 6. Once again, Lee could have a waiting powerhouse, but he needs to win out and has no room for error. Top scorer was that bastard Zach. Good job, Zach. Top scorer. Now let's talk about playoffs and where everybody ranks. So if the playoffs started today, Billy and Zach would have the bye week. Bass and myself would be the division winners, and we would be playing the rest of my division, Chris and Chase. So that's kind of where we stand now. Obviously, we have 3 weeks left to go, and it's going to be super important how we end in the season. These last few weeks are going to change a lot of stuff. Really, once again, the only person in as of now is Billy. The only person really out, well, Tebow. So Bill, Brad, and Christopher. Even if he could 4.5. So, I mean, he's not mathematically out, but he's out. So a lot of good stuff to play, guys. A lot of exciting games to go. It just does start with this week. And yeah, it's the playoffs. It's exciting. I don't really have much else to say on that. I know, Devin, in your league, you update the brackets and everything as it goes. I will not be doing that, but I will be obviously updating them when the time comes. Let's just dive into the next week's games. Sorry, guys. I think maybe I do understand, and I'm not sorry, but I think I do understand why it is nice to have a second person to bounce this off of, especially when some of us haven't prepared as well as we should have for the Downcast. But let's break them down game by game. And what I'm going to go ahead and call the game of the week, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Devin and Skylar. I think that's our game of the week. These two are fighting for a wild card spot and a little bit behind. I mean, they do both have chances at their division still, depending on how it breaks out. But, they might just be fighting for one of those wild card spots. Honestly, whoever wins this week, forward to, depending on what happens with their division leaders, possibly having a chance at taking the division, but the loser might just be pretty close to saying sayonara, of course, depending on what happens to their division leader this week. So looking at it, Devin does have his lineup already set. So this is a pretty good set lineup. It's projected Devin currently 115, Skylar currently 113.6. It's a real pick'em game. I like that Devin's streaming Derek Carr, even though I think the Raiders are good, but I don't know about how he does, especially fantasy-wise. This is a tough one because these guys have battles back and forth. I think Devin has the stronger top to bottom roster. But Skyler's also got Mahomes, and he's got Michael Thomas, who is the number one receiver on the season. I'm gonna go with Devin just out of sheer top to bottom roster, but don't be surprised if this is a shootout, and don't be surprised if Skyler, flexes a little muscle, even though he did say earlier he's tanking for the top pick, which is always good in a lottery system to tank for the top pick. Next, we will go with the champ, the soon-to-be former champ. Once again, here we are, no chance at a repeat, at least back-to-back repeat champion. I mean, we can get a two-time winner still, but no repeat champion. He is playing Lee, so my brother and Lee, who did guide him to a great start to last season, which catapulted him to a championship. However, no credit taken from the in-season work. Right now, Lee does not have a tight end in. So I assume that will get rectified, but currently Christopher is projected to win 103.9 to 103.5. His lineup is also set after their trade, but he does have some tough matchups. I mean, I'm going to go Lee here. Honestly, I'm going to go Lee pretty easily. But I would love to see Christopher pull it off and Lee's, all-in super team to just destruct and be too little too late. That always makes everybody happy. So that's my pick. We'll move off to Cheese Shoes Chase and Captain Racist McGee, the kitchen, Las Vegas Muff Diver. So he thinks he is. But anyway, right now Zach is projected to win 116.8 to 104.9. Looks like lineups are pretty much set. Um, I will say that let's see here. I don't know. It looks like honestly, Zach packs a lot of punch. He really showed this last week what kind of team he has and what he can do. Chase has been kind of struggling these last few weeks, allowing Chris and myself to get back into the division. And actually, he's currently in third, so we've been able to overtake him. So I'm going to go, as much as I hate to say it, with Zach. I think he wins this week. Devin needs to win to stay alive, though, if that's the case. But yeah, Zach's got a good team. He does, we'll see what next week brings for him. I think him and Devin play next week, and that one could be for the division. So that's pretty exciting. Next, let's go with two division leaders. I guess this could be considered game of the week too, but because this is actually the two division leaders. We got Bass and Boner Boy facing off. Currently, Billy's projected to win 128.5 to 118. Billy's the highest scorer by a lot this season. He's averaging 130 a game. It's 133. It's despicable, but he's doing it. And Bass, he's got Lamar Jackson. He's got a chance. He's got Cooper Kupp. Granted, they're playing Chicago, and he just shit the bed, so he'll do a lot better. And Kelsey, so Bass really has a good team. I think Bass definitely finds his way into the playoffs and holds on to this division lead. But Billy's got the number one running back, McCaffrey, number 2 wide receiver in Evans, number 7 receiver in Galladay, number 9 running back in Jacobs. If you really want to break it down, got the number 2 kicker in Zane Gonzalez. He got a good team. But I would love for you to go on a 2-game losing streak and really just shudder the Klein Top collective and really, really make you wonder what life's about. So I think Billy wins, but I'm going to root for Bass. Especially because he's got a Vegas Raiders symbol too. One nation. So go Bass. Next one, we got the Peppers of Justice and then the Hammer of Thor. Chris is right on my ass for the division title, and his team packs a lot of punch. Currently, he's projected to win 108 to 97.6. Chris is pretty dominant. So looking at this, I think Chris probably does win pretty handily. Brad, I would love nothing more than for you to defeat him. Well, Brad's missing Thielen, so I don't think full lineups are set, but Brad, please, for the love of all God, beat Brad or beat Chris, because I have to play him next week and I have some buys and I don't think I'm going to beat him next week. So if you could beat him now, that would be super helpful. All right, so that should be a good one, but I think Chris probably wins pretty easily, setting up for what could be the battle for the division next week. That could be 2 excellent games for divisions next week. So that's pretty exciting down the stretch here. And then myself, I play the Pride of Chicago, White Bill, and I'm currently projected to win 109.4 to 67.6. Now, Bill does have a tight end and quarterback still to be put in. However, when you're facing a lineup of Tariq Cohen, Frank Gore, the GOAT Fitz, Edelman, Burkhead, the Rams, Zerline, even though the Rams are going to dominate Chicago's offense, you're not too worried. I need the win. I hope to get the win. I'm picking the win. If I do lose, though, I could go from division lead to out of the playoffs pretty quick. So not looking for that to happen, but at the same time, we shall see what happens. Other than that, we already said one of our top scorer of the week. I don't really know what else to go over. I wanted to make sure and get this out. I'll try and get this a little more upbeat next week. If someone would like to be a guest next week, let's do this. Let's get in there because there's no reason to not. There's no reason to not having someone on, and there's no reason to not do this weekly. I failed, but hashtag Devin's going to be the new commish if we can't keep this going. So I don't really know what else to say, guys. I think one person was listening, so thank you. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. One day this will become a top end podcast that's recorded weekly and correctly, has some cool like drops and different fun things and music, and isn't just someone talking. And maybe has built-in guests. But other than that, let's root for the Raiders and for me and XOXO team. See ya. Cool.